put on your agenting hat.
Okay, let's do it.
So July 1st rolls around. I said at the top of the show, these guys would be crazy to leave each other. I mean, this is as special as it gets right now. But you as somebody, and it's interesting that you talk Draymond up and people would say, hey, well, that's his agent talking right now. You no longer represent Draymond.
That's correct.
Green. Okay. So knowing, though, the mindset of Draymond as you do, and knowing what it's like to try and keep a team together as you do from many different angles.
Right.
What do you think happens July 1st with this team?
Well, I think this team has been together long enough now to where they are a team now that people that played and have won, have success. What is the one thing that breaks all championship teams up? It's the me factor. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how important am I? I think that is one thing they're all going to have to assess once the season is over with. Clearly, they have very special players. Clearly, they can play together as a group. But I think the me factor, you've been around each other for so long, your mind begins to wonder. I think at some point they will all realize, hopefully sooner rather than later, how important and how much they need each other. But I think if they are going to move, okay, I think if that does happen or that comes into play, I think many of them will begin to think about what could I do and where can I begin to expand my role. You know, I think in particular, Kevin Durant, what is the next step for Kevin Durant is we can say he's a great player. We can say he came in, he integrated his talent into that team, but was he the leader of that team? And I think if he looks at it from that standpoint, maybe that's something he wants to do. Maybe that is a challenge that he thinks that's next in his career. Who knows? But I think that is something that all of the players are going to have to figure out. What is this team going to look like moving forward in the foreseeable future?
Well, but I mean, let's be honest here. What better legacy is there than to win 4 in a row or 5 in a row or 6 in a row? What better legacy could you possibly have unless you're sitting there and actually hearing people say, well, you had nothing to do with it specifically. You weren't Jordan. You weren't like the end all, like the universe didn't revolve around you. You joined the universe. But at this point, 3 years later, he's as integral part of this team as any in Kevin Durant. So I ask you this as an agent, the stories that are out there right now that say he's decided he's going to New York or he's leaving. He needs to go to a spot to create his own legacy. And he's playing basketball right now knowing that he's leaving the Warriors. We have heard stories out there that he's even contacted a team to say he's coming, and we all assume that's the Knicks. You as an agent and somebody who knows what it's like to negotiate and go into free agency, how real is that a possibility right now?
Well, I think that it's very difficult to play knowing that you're already out. I think that's very, very hard to do because you have to be invested. As a athlete, I'll put my former athletic hat back on. Being in the game, you have to be invested into the now. And every athlete understands that, who especially plays the game at the level that he's playing at. You don't have 1 foot out of the door and then you're playing at the level he's playing at currently as you see Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is playing the game as high a level as I've seen.
Right.
I think as an agent, you have to be prepared for all. Just like when I worked in the front office for a team, you have to be prepared for all scenarios. If you don't do that, you're not doing your job. So I think it is in his best interest to be prepared. I think his agent will be prepared. I think the team will be prepared. But I don't think that decision will be made until after the season is over with, when you can sit down, look at the situation, evaluate the situation, and see the landscape of where the league is at. Because he knows what he has there, but now he has to see and make an educated decision on where the league is going to be and what that's going to see and what that's going to look like for him in the future.
But I'm not saying that you would do this or you would operate in this manner with the Wasserman Media Group, but is it feasible that an agent could tell a team in the middle of a playing season he's coming? I mean, is that possible?
Well, anything is possible. But how could you do that? You don't know where the draft is. You have injuries. You have so many things you don't have control over.
Right.
But anything is possible. Yes, that is possible. Do I see that being in this league now for 30-something years? No, because you have to let the chips fall. You have to let the chips kind of play themselves out. You have to let the game play itself out and really see how things are going to look once you have to get to that decision.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.